Hello, welcome to my craft room. My name's Tina. It's been about 3 weeks, I think, since I did my Flosstube update of all my cross stitching projects, and I think I've made some good progress, so I thought I would pop on and show you them. So the first project is my long dog sampler and Templar of Prophecy. This is the one that I was working on, stitching on, when I saw you last, and I was carrying on with this. It's the last row and there's 15 pages. I am up to number 11, page 11 I am on, and so I've just done that border, and what I'm thinking of is dividing this page into 3 parts. So that was my first part, and then because it's quite heavy on this, let me focus it a bit better. So I've got the horse in the bottom part, and then this is quite heavy on the stitching up here, so I thought I'd chop it off and do it in 2 lots. So I'm going to carry on with this one and do that top section next. I want to keep chipping away at it and finish this because I have got plans for the next long dog. Which, yeah, sucker for banishment, because this has been years in the actual stitching, but I do really enjoy stitching it, and I really enjoy stitching it on this DMC 115. So when I was sorting out these boxes, I used to have 3, but all the resting projects, hibernating projects that I'm not called to stitch on at the moment, I have taken the threads out of there and put them all into boxes so I can see what I've got. And it was surprising how many I've got, like 5 or 6 of the same colour, which is slightly annoying that I kept on buying the same colour when I already had it. So I've put them in there so I can pick from shop from home and use the ones I've got to start with, because if I do go back to that project, then I can just go and pull them out anyway. So they're somewhere safe and in number order so I can find them easily. But while I was sorting out all these threads, and some of them I'd never used, some of them were full skeins that I've never used, and you know how it is, we pick these things up on the way, don't we? But I came across this one, so I put it to the side because I thought this would be a really good one for another long dog. I'm not going to tell you what long dog I'm looking at to start, because it's not going to be a while yet, is it? But it's 4240, and I really liked this. So it is a like purples and blues, and I thought that would be really nice. So yes, I've put that colour by to remind me, and that's incentive to keep going on the Templar of Prophecy so I can actually get on to the next long dog and start using that, because I think that would be really pretty, and it will have the same effect as this one. Even though this is just reds, it makes it far more interesting to stitch than having just one colour. So yeah, already sorted out my next long dog. The next one I stitched on was my Bothy threads, Poppy Fields. This is a kit, but I've changed the fabric. I'm not talking too much about what fabrics and things they are, just because I spoke about them all 3 weeks ago. So if you do want an update, I have also got all the information under the video as well. So all the fabrics and things are under there if you wanted more information. So this is my Bothy threads kit on fabric flair fabric instead of the kitted Ada, and I have filled in his ear. I shall put a picture up of where he was before, and then you will see that I filled in his ear, and I've also filled in his cheek on the left hand side, or is it your right hand side? I don't know. It's this ear and down here, so his face has filled out a lot more. So now my plan is that I am going to, this is the edge of the page, so I'm going to carry on just coming across and just filling in fur and poppies, because I think the fur might be a little bit boring to stitch on, but then the poppies would break it up a bit. So yeah, loving Mr. Foxy Chops, so good progress on him or her. The next one was my Nora Corbett, and this is Solar Elipse, and this is just on plain Evenweave. I shall put a picture up of where it was before, and as you can see, I finished off that wing. So as somebody pointed out, these are all the cool fall colours. As somebody pointed out on Instagram, I am trying to put some pictures up on Instagram, so if you do use Instagram, you can find me over there, Simply in Stitches. Yes, as somebody pointed out, I've got all the grey to do now, which isn't so interesting, but this is a small design, and the Nora Corbett's tend to be quite blocky in their colours. As you can see by the wings, it's quite blocky. Have I got the actual photo? I'll find the picture. Okay, so to backtrack, this was the Bothy Threads poppy field, how it's going to be at the end. I'm not doing very well on this, am I? This is the Solar Elipse. As you see on the wings, when you do the back stitch, it really comes out better, but you can see all this grey that I've got to go down there. So that is where I am on that one. And then I picked out the one that I didn't spend much time on, and there isn't much progress on, because I realised I'd done it wrong last time. So by the time I picked out all the bits that were wrong, I'd had enough and put it away. I didn't want to play with that one anymore. So this is Little Dove Designs Heart of Autumn. Still love the design, but I just, yeah, I'd gone wrong. So that is how it will look. It doesn't look a lot different to how it was. So this is where it was before. Well, I have done a little bit more, but not what I was going to do. So the part that I pulled out was the white under here. I realised that it wasn't lined up properly, so I couldn't carry on with the bottom section. So the idea was that I was going to redo that and then carry on. But as I said, doing white, it doesn't show up ever such a lot on there. You can see it. But yeah, I wasn't happy with it. I didn't want to play anymore. So it went back in the bag. It's an autumn piece anyway, so that doesn't matter. The next one I picked up is my Yuletide by Bothy Threads. That is how it's going to look. It's one of the shoes. I've seen that Sally King, who does the designs, there's a new one coming out in February, and that looks really nice. I really love these shoes. I call it a shoe, but it is supposed to be an ice skate. You can see the silver there and it comes up. And yeah, I'm all into the ice skaters at the moment because Dancing on Ice is back, loving that. So I have been stitching on this one. This is where I was before, so I'd come down the front of the shoe and done the front, and this time I was working my way along and stitched the heel and went up. So yeah, quite a lot of progress on that. Glad to be stitching on the red part now and not the white, because all those bits that look like it's just fabric, it's not, it's all stitched in white. White on white. Who doesn't love white on white? Me. But yeah, it'd be worth it once the back stitch goes on once again. This is a kit from Bothy, so I'm just using everything from the kit. That is that one, and then the one I started this year, and this is from Silver Creek Samplers. It's No Winter Lasts Forever, No Spring Skips Its Turn. And I wanted to change the colour of the crocuses, the flowers there. And so I swapped that up. So this is where it was before. And this is where it is now, because it is a very quick stitch, this one. So I'm really happy with the colours I chose. The definition of the two different shades works. Really like the colour, how it works with the fabric. I think on the screen it looks like quite a true colour of the fabric as well. And yeah, it's just stitching up nice and quickly. The white isn't showing up as quite as much as I'd like to, but you can see the definition of the snowflakes and things, so I'm just going to go with it. Unfortunately, this big one is in a lighter patch. Isn't that always the way? You try and choose where you place your cross stitch, but you can't decide on every little bit, can you? So yeah, I'm really enjoying stitching on this. As I say, it's so quick and easy. In an evening, just in like a couple of hours, you can make a big difference on it. So yes, I'm hoping to finish this one off by the end of February. Trouble is though, what I've got is all this white here, which I think is going to take its time, isn't it? So that's going to be fun. So I should see how I go. I might have to break it up and just do it for like, get myself to do like an hour or half an hour or something every evening, and then go on something else if it gets too tedious. The letters, the initials and the numbers on this are stitched, but on here it does look like the background colour. So I think what I'm going to do is stitch the white and then see what my fabric looks like through the snow. And then if I don't like the look, I will stitch it in. But if I do like the look, then I'll leave that unstitched so you can just see the fabric through the white. But like I say, because there's not a lot of definition, I think it might be lost. But I don't want it to compete with the lettering up here. I want it to be more muted into the background so you can see it, but it's not a major part of the design. I want it to be the flowers and the letters that is the main part of the design. So I shall see as I go what is best for that. So that is that one, which brings me on to, because I am finishing a stitch, it means that I need to start a new one, doesn't it? Now, I want to stitch from home. I like stitching at home. I want to shop from home, and I've got charts, and I've got 2 of these Emma Congdon books, and I've only stitched one thing out of each book. The last one I stitched was the Between Two Pines, which is, can I find it? No. It's that one down there in the book. So I stitched that one last year, so I wanted to stitch another one. As you can see, I'm naughty. If you like to keep your books pristine, then don't watch this. Turn the sound off. Oh, because there it is. Because I was struggling to use the chart from the book, because I like to attach my chart. I don't use Pattern Keeper. I like to have my paper chart attached to my Q-snap while I'm stitching, so it's right there next to me. And so I was struggling with the book. When I stitched the last Emma Congdon from the other book, it was a more simplified pattern and I got on fine, but I was struggling. So in the end, what I did, because I tried to sort of take a photo of it and print it off, didn't really work because of the curve of the book. So what I did in the end, I just ripped the page out. It's my book, I can do what I like with it. So I ripped it out because the chart is on the back of this, so then I could just use this as I wanted. So yeah, that was the Between the Pines. And so this time, the page I'm going to rip out this time. Oh, I'm waiting for all the comments. My stitching, my rules. So the one I'm doing this time, they don't have actual names, but it's called live in the sunshine, swim the sea, drink wild air. So this is a bit reflective. This is the, let's try and get you a better view. So that is how it's going to be. So there's quite a lot going on that design. Lots of colours and different elements. So I thought once again that I don't want to overcomplicate it with jazzy fabric. So I have got a big piece of Evenweave here. I think it's a 32. So I'm just going to use white for it. So that is what I'm going to be stitching it on. And you would have thought, because I've got all these threads, that I would have all the colours needed. No. So I've got a few of the colours needed. So the ones that I haven't got, I'm going to be pulling from my stash as I go and just seeing what I think looks right at the time. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So I am going to use what I've got and enjoy starting that one. So I don't know whether it be this week or whether it be the week after, but hopefully by the next video I will have the other one finished and this one will be started. So fun times ahead. I hope you're enjoying whatever you're stitching on. Thank you so much for joining me and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye for now.